Well, since we have a couple of days off, let's talk about a couple of things. Let's talk about a player that hasn't got a whole lot of recognition. Let's talk about the rest of the Metropolitan Division. And let's try to figure out a way for this team to win a stinking game in overtime.
Your Locked On Capitals, your daily podcast on the Washington Capitals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Locked On Capitals. I am your host, as always, the insider of the insiders, Tyler Kuehl, here for this Tuesday edition of Locked On Caps, where I try to figure out what to talk about for this fact we have 4 days off. Don't worry, we have people coming on later this week. Don't worry, it's okay. It won't be just me talking to myself like I usually do. Even sometimes you need to talk to the smartest person in the room. Granted, in this room, it's just me and my Wild Wing figurine and my dog Wixie. And if you ask the wife, she'll probably pick the latter on which one's the smartest of the bunch here. But that's okay. So today, what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to look at the Metropolitan Division, have a couple days off. And there's a couple teams that are looking pretty impressive as of late in the Metro. We'll look down the teams and see how they've been doing so far. We'll talk about overtime, like I mentioned. We'll talk about Connor McMichael. The reason now it'll kind of tie in the conversation of the overtime with McMichael because, as you guys know, I love Connor McMichael. Loved his game in juniors, World Juniors, London, and obviously I thought he started off this season really, really well. And I thought to myself, what is his problem this season? So we're going to kind of dive into that a little bit here as we carry along in today's program. So with that, let us talk about overtime first. Okay, we're going to get into overtime. So the Caps are 0-7 in overtime. And remember what happened the last time we talked about a statistic with the Capitals? They went 0-6 or more. We had to pull out the whiteboard because we had to figure out the power play. Had to try to figure out what was going on. And it's kind of funny because Craig McLaughlin and on the NBC Sports Washington feed and the New Jersey game on Sunday, they pulled out a way to try to figure out the power play. And they showed the replay of the goal that Ovechkin scored against the Red Wings. Clearly somebody watched that episode of Locked On Capitals where I took out the whiteboard because that was kind of the idea that I had to try to figure out more plays, more movement with the puck or whatever. So what are we going to do today, kids? That is right. We got the whiteboard back. We're going to figure out how to win a hockey game in overtime in the NHL in 3-on-3. Now, yes, all of the lines are in blue because the only red kind of marker I have is a Sharpie, and I should really think about getting like a small hockey whiteboard. That'd be kind of neat for this show. But right now I don't have one, and I'm pretty sure if I bought one right now, my wife would lose her mind because apparently buying 2 microphones and some other nice equipment for this program was too much. So with that, we're going to talk about how to find a way to win in overtime in the NHL. Okay. So I'm going to make this very simple. The Capitals will be the X's and the opposing team will be in the circles. Okay. All right. Very simple stuff. Can you guys see it? All right. You guys can kind of see. Oh, and I got to turn. There we go. A little more open here. All right, so you see how the Capitals are the X's. By the way, if you're listening on the podcast form right now, thank you very much for listening, of course, on your favorite podcatcher. Turn it over to the YouTube channel because you're going to be confused out of your mind. So the first thing the Capitals have to do, win a face-off. Number one, win the puck, win it backwards. Just get the puck. Get a hold of the biscuit. Got to get a hold of it. Put it not in your basket, but put it in your cart so you can bring it all the way and put the bun in the oven, all right? That's what you need to do. Because right now, the Washington Capitals are by far one of the worst teams at faceoffs, it seems like, this season. Mother of Teresa. Let me just kind of try to figure out who has the best faceoff percentage on this hockey club right now. Let me just try to pull it up here because I didn't do that before. Faceoff percentage. Ovechkin's not a centerman. Because that's off at 44.5%. The next closest one would be Nick Dowd, who's at 50%. He is 155 of his 205 faceoffs he has taken, so not too bad. But the problem is the fact that when it comes to overtime, they try to find a way to put guys on the ice that can't win a faceoff. It's like lacrosse, okay? If anyone's ever watched lacrosse, mostly field lacrosse, a box lacrosse, similar concept, but it more pertains to in field lacrosse. You win the draw, you get possession, and you pretty much get to hold on to the ball as long as you want before you finally take a shot. Same thing in overtime in the NHL. Literally, the other team will take the puck on the faceoff, win the draw, and just carry it around and wait for the Capitals to open themselves up and eventually exploit an opening and score. Now, that didn't necessarily happen on Sunday, but there's 6 other games they lost in overtime because of stupid stuff like this, all right? So what do the Capitals need to do? Like I said, get a guy out and draw. Nick Dowd, maybe he's the guy because Kuznetsov needs to win a faceoff. Someone needs to be on this dot at center ice and win the faceoff backwards. Win it to this guy. Orlov, Carlson, Laviolette on skates, I don't care. You need to get a hold of the puck. You could literally Michael Kempney could be out there. I mean, gosh, I don't know. Who's from the South Carolina Stingrays could be playing on defense? Just get him the puck, take control of it, switch out your guys, figure out a way to get a hold of it. Literally, have a face-off specialist for overtime, for goodness sakes, okay? Possession, key number 1. All right, so we got that out of the way, right? Good. All right, now when you get the puck, you don't want to give it up, right? You don't want to take anything too risky. So go ahead, take a loop back if you have the puck here and kind of have your forwards. If you do 2 forwards, 1 defense, kind of have them swing around here and kind of open up these guys here. Force one guy to kind of apply some slight pressure. No one does full ice pressure, full ice forechecking in overtime because that just leads to 2-on-1s all the time. That'll force these guys back, opens things up a little bit, all right? So then you pass the puck up here, you kind of skate it in. He'll try to cut you off over here, take a meander back here because this guy will come back over here, defenseman, puck support, key number there. Because once this guy comes over here, this guy will come up pressuring up here, trying to stop you from getting in the zone cleanly and getting speed. You cycle the puck up right inside the blue line. You drop it back to your defenseman, and that's where this winger, who will come back over here, this guy's trying to watch him, but he's kind of puck watching because even though in the NHL kids, they do that. He'll come back up high here, tip tap, all of a sudden bang, bang. These 2 guys can go down the ice, possibly on a rush. Okay, great. That is a good way to hold the possession of the puck and get in the zone. Because when you have possession and you're in the offensive zone, you can start creating opportunities. So with that, let's get into the offensive zone now, because that's the most important thing. Before you say anything, folks, yes, Tyler, why don't you have, more going here? Why didn't you have a full, one side be, the offensive zone, one side the full ice? Because the other side of this is cardboard, kids. I don't have that capability here, okay? So now we are in the offensive zone-ish. I should have drawn these lines better. My goodness. Listen, this is great podcasting, I know. But I'm trying to help you guys out. I'm trying to help you guys understand what I'm thinking when I see the Capitals get into the offense zone with the puck. All right. So now, Capitals come in with the puck. There's the offensive zone. Back to this point. So let's just say they come down the right wing side with possession. Here comes Alex Ovechkin, because given the fact that he's the winger in this scenario, he wins. He gets the puck from Dmitry Orlov. Or no. We're doing Kuznetsov, we're doing Ovechkin, we're doing Johnny Carlson on the top unit, because that's smart. Because I love Nick Dowd to death. I mentioned how he's a face-off specialist, but when he is your starting guy and you keep him out there on the 3-on-3, there's a problem. So here comes Ovechkin. They have 2 defensemen back, does the opposition. And Johnny Carlson's following up because remember, Kuznetsov is the one that kind of got pinched off here in the neutral zone. All right. So now Ovechkin's coming on in, and obviously Ovechkin has the speed and the strength to drive the puck towards the net. But that would be a great scoring chance, right? Because what happens if you do that? You may get a shot on goal and you may get stopped. And all of a sudden, this team picks up the puck. They go back to their way with it. And once again, all of a sudden, you're looking at possibly having Evgeny Kuznetsov being your defenseman back. Bad idea. So Johnny Carlson, he's sitting up here, kind of forcing this defenseman, this weak side defenseman, to stick with him the entire time. That's good. Keeping the ISO a little bit open. Kuznetsov will be coming in here late. Let's move him down a little further, shall we? Let's move Carlson up high, and Kuznetsov will kind of move into more of an offensive position. So we'll put him down by the face-off circle just to kind of have open things up a little bit, and that'll force this defenseman to come back, play him back over here because you don't want to leave a guy open back door because everyone's played Chell these days, and we'll have the second forward, stay up high in the offensive zone. So Ovechkin can bring the puck down low, similar to what we saw in the neutral zone, kids. This defenseman will peel on back. Smart. Gives up this whole area right up here at the blue line. Ovechkin, instead of trying to wrap it all the way around the other side, which could possibly lead to the puck ringing around the boards in some rinks and all the way out into the neutral zone, just kind of come in this corner and stop up instead, forcing this guy to stay with you. That's where Carlson comes into his defensive posture, and these guys do a little flip-flop play here. Once again, 3-on-3 hockey, you'll see man-to-man coverage. I'm going to try to wrap this up for you, folks, because I'm trying to find a way to score the game-winning goal here for the Capitals, because my goodness, like I said, 0-7. This guy will follow Karlsson down low. Karlsson will come down the half wall. Ovechkin has two options here. Now, once again, Ovechkin's on his strong wing, so not a great opportunity for a one-timer. So what does he have to do here? He has one of two options. He has the opportunity to drop the puck off for Karlsson here on the half wall. Karlsson can take it down low. Kuznetsov can come here. Maybe a little quick play out in front. But if that pass misses, kids, once again, where's that puck go? Skittering out in the neutral zone, down the ice. Here come the Rangers, 2-on-1, bang, bang, the game's over. Just like that. Why am I picking the Rangers? I don't know, because they just played the Devils. But anyway, so Ovechkin can say, hold on to the puck, use Kuznetsov as a decoy, use Ovechkin's speed, skate all the way up to the top here. Kuznetsov can kind of play, not necessarily a pick, because you can't straight up interfere with people, but kind of just switch off with Ovechkin here. Ovechkin comes on the left wing side. Kuznetsov comes to the front here. All of a sudden, they're cycling around the defense, trying to keep up with everybody. Everyone's skating willy-nilly. Ovechkin, Kuznetsov scores. Back of the net. That's how you do it. Look at that. That is how you win hockey games in overtime. Look at this. See, my wife's poking it. Look at this, honey. This is how you win a hockey game. What is that? What are you showing? Oh, a bigger board? Oh, that'd be better. I'll remember that for next time. I'm already done with this segment, hon. Thanks. Can I buy a hockey whiteboard? I think the folks would like that at home. My birthday's in 2 months. The Caps are going to lose 3 more games in overtime by 2 months.
Well, it's a month and a half, but you're just going to have to wait.
Folks, we're going to have to wait to try to properly figure out how to, for the Washington Capitals, according to the Mrs. Kuehl, how to win a hockey game in overtime. But that's my plan right there. That's how it's going to work. Anyways, moving along, we'll talk about Connor McMichael here in a second, because Connor McMichael may be another guy that should get a shot on 3-on-3 in overtime, given his skill set. Before we get to that, guys, I got to tell you, it is time to get beard if you have one. Well, if you have a beard, you got to get Primal, though. That's right. You heard me right, kids. Got beard, get Primal, because if you know someone who has a beard or you have one yourself, do you know that you could be treating yourself to better ingredients for your beard to have it more luscious? The products are free from harmful synthetic ingredients at Primal Origin Oils and with low impact on the planet. Primal Origin Oils makes balms, oils, and whipped butter that are renowned as the best feel in beard products available. All products are fair trade certified as well and handcrafted in the United States. We know that every company claims to have the best, but Primal Origin Oils challenges you to compare the ingredients and the feel in beard to other products you've used. And we promise that we'll see a better difference in your beard as well. So you remember the code Locked On, which gets you 20% off at primaloriginoils.com. Once again, use the promo code Locked On for 20% off at checkout at primaloriginoils.com. So Connor McMichael, one of my favorites. You know, it's hard for me because maybe from my eyes, and maybe some of you can correct me at home on this, but I haven't seen him a whole lot. And unfortunately, when he's on the ice, I don't notice him that much either. Let me just kind of give this to you here. Connor McMichael, who I thought started off at a great rate. I'm not going to say he was on fire, because that'd be kind of overextenuating him a little bit. But, certainly 9 points in 32 games as a rookie is not too bad. But he had 9 points in his last, how many games was it? I can't think of it now, but yeah, he had 8 points in, I think it was like a 13 or 14 game span, but he's only had 1 point in his last 5 games. And that was that goal against Los Angeles in a game where he only played, 8 minutes? Like, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that because, oh my goodness, help me out here, folks. I can't remember now who scored in that game. Connor McMichael scores the goal, and I'm having a massive brain fart right now. This is bad, eh? Because the assist came from Joe Snively. That's right. Joe Snively had the assist on the goal, but only Snively played less minutes in that game than Connor McMichael. Connor McMichael in the last, let's go back to the chunk of games here, okay? So we'll say in the last 5 games, he has averaged around 7 or 8.5 minutes. And that's because of the fact that against Nashville and against Detroit, because having a lot of guys out of the lineup, a lot of kind of changed in the lineup, he played over 10 minutes. That was only the second and third times that he played over 10 minutes since the beginning of December, where he went on a stretch of playing over 10 minutes in 5 straight games. I want to know this because he only played 6 minutes against the New Jersey Devils. And to point the finger at the fact that, oh, the Connor McMichael played bad Sunday. Well, the entire Washington Capitals roster played bad on Sunday. They should not have gotten a point at all against the New Jersey Devils. If you guys remember, Mackenzie Blackwood literally sent that game to overtime by himself because he gave Larzado the puck, Eller to Sherry, bang, bang, and then we also knew what happened in overtime. And I don't know what you need to do. I don't know what this kid needs to get him going. I really don't understand what the idea could be to help him play better, to help him find his game. Because like I said, that goal that he scored against LA eliminated a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game pointless drought. Because the last time he had gotten a point was in the loss to Florida back on November 30th. It's been a really long, hard time for McMichael. And now, once again, I have to remember. Oops, hit my microphone there. I have to remind myself that he's a rookie. Okay, I understand that. I have to respect the fact that he's a rookie, still trying to find his feet in the NHL, so on and so on and so on. But the long and the short of it is that there needs to be a way to get this guy more opportunities. And I don't think he played bad against Detroit or Nashville. I know in 10 minutes, you expect maybe to get him a point, and maybe a couple more shots on goal. He didn't get shots in either of those games. Did he get shots in either of those games? I don't think he did. No, you're right. He didn't. He had 3 shots in the game against LA where he got the goal, but has not had a shot in each of the last 3 games. I don't know. I don't know if it's the minutes he's playing or if it's the lack of players he's been with. It's been hard because right now, according to Left Wing Lock, who is a pretty reliable source on the lines and whatnot, he's been on the 4th line with Michael Scarboza and Brett Leeson. That's a tough line to get a lot of chances with because typically, once again, 4th line right now for the Caps, it's just Ovechkin and Eller's line need a break. Just you guys go out there and mess around for a minute. And this is kind of the problem we were having with Carl Hagelin for the longest time. Carl Hagelin wasn't putting up any points because he was barely playing. He was playing 7 or 8 minutes a night. And players like Connor McMichael, I feel like it's one of those things like I almost say, I'm like, man, what if he was in Hershey right now? How big of a loss would that be if he went down to Hershey instead of stayed up with the Capitals? Because I feel like he has this offensive gift that if given the opportunity, he can further progress and develop in the NHL or at the professional hockey level where he can be an effective playmaker or an effective scorer, effective offensive weapon in the NHL. I keep mentioning their power play woes. McMichael has barely gotten a look on the PPS of late, and when you would think when you're in dire straits with the man advantage, you would try to find every avenue, exploit every avenue at least, to try to find a way to get that going. So maybe, once again, I'm not telling Peter Laviolette how to do his job, but I'm just saying if you want to get a kid like McMichael going, get him more involved in the offense, and once again, I know the Caps are winning hockey games. That's not the problem here. But I just feel like he has more to offer. And you're going to need guys like him to step up when you get to the later stages of the year. So that's my piece on McMichael. I think he's got more to give, as I think we all do. I think that's something we all can agree on there. So now let's move quickly on over to the Metropolitan Division to wrap things up here on this program today. The Metro is really starting to separate itself. Kind of similar to the Atlantic Division, whereas the Atlantic, though, there's 10 points between Toronto in 3rd, Boston in 4th. In the Metropolitan Division right now, there is a 9-point difference between 4th place Pittsburgh and 5th place Philadelphia. Pittsburgh being the team that's holding the first of the 2 wildcard spots, the other one being held by the Boston Bruins. The division, of course, right now, at this time of we're recording this, the Washington Capitals hold the division lead with 48 points and the league lead as well with 48 points in 34 games played, albeit though the Carolina Hurricanes with 47 have 3 games in hand. The Rangers with 46 have 1 game in hand. And I believe they are playing right now. At the time I'm recording this, they're playing the Edmonton Oilers. So that obviously could change by the time we hear this. It could be New York could definitely pass them because, by the way, the Oilers are playing. The Rangers have a chance to win this hockey game. But the fact of the matter is it's so top heavy right now because the Pittsburgh Penguins are 5 points back. However, the Pittsburgh Penguins are the hottest team in the National Hockey League. They have won 8 straight games. They have seemingly found a way to not lose games. And this is a team without Evgeny Malkin. This is a team with missing Chris Letang for chunks of the year, and Jeff Carter and Sidney Crosby missed just about the entire first month of the season. This has been a very interesting year for the Penguins, and yet here they are in a playoff spot. And you always hear, and Caps fans, you all know this as well, as long as Crosby's in the lineup, Crosby's on your team, you can't count him out. You can never count out the Pittsburgh Penguins. And it really helps that Tristan Jarry is, dare I say, having a Vezina caliber start now. I kind of stumbled early on, but now he's got a 1.93 goals against average. He has an over 930 save percentage, 3 shutouts on the season. He's really starting to hit his stride that led him to being an all-star, a selected all-star in 2020. And it's not me. I mean, I would love to think, oh, it's because of the great defense in front of him. Maybe. I mean, Brian Dumoulin's back there, Chris Letang's back there, but there isn't a whole lot. I mean, this ain't like the 1990s New Jersey Devils in terms of defense strength. This is a team that's had to rely on a lot of cast of characters to step up here. Evan Rodriguez being one. Obviously, Jake Gensel, even though he's missed a good chunk of time, is the team's leading scorer. Chris Letang has been putting up points. I believe he has 22. And of course, there is Sidney Crosby, but there's like guys like Danton Heinen who have played big minutes, and Teddy Bluger who has stepped up. And once again, I mentioned Geno Malkin has not even been in the lineup yet this season. How will he help this team even get better? So all of a sudden, Pittsburgh is back into contention, not just playoff contention, but division title contention the way they've been playing. So certainly watch out for them, because the way the seas are starting to part in this Metropolitan Division, if they can keep pace, the way the run they've been on here, and obviously everything plateaus after a while, but dang, they've been a good hockey team. They've been a really good hockey team to watch. Philadelphia, though, is in 5th with 32 points, like I had mentioned, and they played okay. They're getting better after that long schneid they had. The coaching changes helped out a little bit. With Mike Yeo back there now, but I don't know. Is it too little too late? I mean, I said this before. If you get the right goaltender at the right time, things can work out. I don't know if Carter Hart can save this team, though, and I don't think Martin Jones can do that either. Yeah, and the Columbus Blue Jackets are also another thing as well. I mean, Elvis Merzlikins didn't practice today because he didn't feel so well, according to Jeff Svoboda, as well as Daniel Tarasov was out because of an injury suffered on Saturday. So the goaltending issues continue for the Blue Jackets. The New Jersey Devils, I know they're 10 points out right now behind Pittsburgh, but they've won their last 3 games. They won a wild one against Edmonton on New Year's Eve. They beat the Capitals on Sunday. Could this be the start of something? I mean, they got a good performance out of Mackenzie Blackwood, I would say. And you get the right, and Jack Hughes, of course, is Jack Hughes. He's a big-time playmaker for this team, a big-time offensive part. And you get, Igor Sharangovich going. You get Nikita, if you can get more opportunities out of Nikita Gusev, I think that'd be important. But the New Jersey Devils they're a competitive team. They had a good start to the year. And I'm looking at their upcoming schedule here, and I want to hear you guys' takes on this. How many games are they going to lose upcoming here? They get Boston tomorrow, or excuse me, on Tuesday. Then they have a home and home against the Blue Jackets. Once again, the Blue Jackets with goaltending problems right now. Then you do get the Tampa Bay Lightning next Monday. Okay, that's toughie. But then you get the Islanders and Habs back-to-back. You have a tough go against the Leafs after that on the 17th, and then Arizona on the 19th. This is a good way, if there's any way to try to find ways to win games and try to maybe make up ground in this Metro Division, this is a big stretch for the Devils. And if, once again, I think they came out, they won their last game right before the pause, but they've come out like gangbusters, especially offensively, since the Christmas break. Yeah, there's an opportunity for them to make some ground up here in this Metro and be competitive. And once again, you get the right goaltending, you get the offense, especially in this league. And what we've seen over the first few games since we came back from the holiday pause, the amount of wild games. It's almost like we're restarting the season over again. I mean, my goodness. Pittsburgh beating San Jose 8-5, 8-7 between San Jose and Arizona. I mean, come on now. Offense is open in this NHL again. Let's have some fun with it. And the Devils are the perfect team to exploit something like that. They are fast, they're fun, and they're a team that can win in overtime, as we found out on Sunday. So right behind them in 8th is the Islanders, the New York Islanders. This is gonna be the dumbest stat you're gonna hear today, guys. Okay, you ready for this? In the Metropolitan Division, I'm not gonna go through the entire league because they're not as high up as ranked as that category. But the New York Islanders have the second least amount of goals allowed in the Metropolitan Division. Only the Carolina Hurricanes have less at 66. The teams that have more goal or less goals against in the entire East include Toronto, Boston, Ottawa, and Montreal. And Ottawa and Montreal, by the way, have only played Ottawa's only played 29 games so far. So I was looking at the wrong number. Ottawa and Montreal have 79, 73 goals scored. So Toronto and Boston have goals against that are fewer than the Islanders. That's 2, 3, 4, because you include the Calgary Flames. They've only played 30 games as well. So only 4 teams have less goals allowed than the New York Islanders. But the Islanders are sitting last in the division because, I'm just going to make sure I get the right number before I say this, they have the second least amount of goals scored in the National Hockey League. Only the Arizona Coyotes, who have scored a combined 63 goals this year, have less than the New York Islanders 64. My goodness, Ilya Sorokin and Semyon Varlamov are Denny Lemieux and Slapshot going, oh my goodness, I'm trying to make 1,000 saves. You're trying to have this team out. I can't do it all. Well, that's kind of how it is. But anywho, that's a good way to end it. My wife got me Qdoba today. That's nice of her. I'm going to go have some dinner here after I wrap things up here on Locked On Caps. Thank you all very much for listening and watching today's episode of Locked On Capitals. Now go make Locked On your bets your second listen of the day. Your boy Q and Lee Sterling giving you all your betting needs for the day. For the action, be sure to follow us at Locked On Caps on Twitter. Make sure you follow me, the Insider of the Insiders, Tyler Kuehl at TJKU29 on Twitter, Instagram, and yes, TikTok. That's where I'm at. Posted a cute picture of my dog, or a cute video of my dog running through the snow because it's adorable running through the snow. Because it's fun. Also, check out today's edition of Locked On NHL. Mike DiStefano and I, we talk about the Penguins. We talk about who pretenders and contenders in the entire Eastern Conference, as well as Canadian postponements and how bad it is up there. Also, Wixie, my dog, does make an appearance on the show, so it makes it all better. That's why you got to watch it for sure on the Locked On NHL YouTube channel. Thank you very much, though, once again for listening and watching this edition of Locked On Capitals. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you all tomorrow.